Hello everyone, welcome to my, I guess we're starting a channel. Go figure, only took how many years? My name is Stephen T. You can just simply call me T, that's what I go by as a makeup artist. And yes, I am an actual working makeup artist, not a makeup enthusiast. Nothing wrong with them, but no, I am a makeup artist. I have decided during the pandemic and with all this downtime and such, because, you know, we're kind of deprived of actually touching faces right now, to just film some videos. You know, I don't know how they're gonna roll. I don't know if I'm gonna be very put this there, blend it up this way, or I'm just gonna be talking about life and makeup and stage and retail aspects and whatever while I'm doing it. I definitely thought about doing this in the style of Dorian Corey a la Paris is Burning. If you don't know the reference, Google it. And, you know, just see what happens. You know, I'm here for whatever questions you guys may have, whether it's how I do my personal makeup, what I've experienced on set, backstage, whatever it is you want to know. I do like doing reviews. Most of my reviews were written, you know, on Facebook and even on Tumblr back in the day. So now we're going to get them on video. And with this video today, if you want to see how I did this look, using the Taste Beauty Blockbuster palette. I just had to grab it. I'm up there in age and this was nostalgic and I just needed it. Even if I liked the product or not, I just needed this packaging to be on display in my beauty area. If you want to see how I did this look, by all means, keep watching. If not, there's a bunch of us on YouTube doing makeup, so find what you like. See you soon. Thanks for staying past the intro. If you're still here, of course, we are going to be reviewing and testing the Blockbuster Video Eyeshadow Palette by Taste Beauty. You can actually get this at Hot Topic, whether it's online or in store. I caught it on a cute sale, and I actually had a birthday coupon, so that was even better. Obviously, this is total nostalgia for me. You know, I was a kid in the 90s. We're not going to say my age. I just had to have this based on the packaging alone. So if I love the product, awesome. If I don't, no biggie. This is a cute display piece and I just can't wait to try it. So first we're gonna open it up and this is what you get here. Very interesting color story. Not sure if I would have chosen these colors for it, but I am kind of intrigued. It does give me a little bit of a mix of things to test out. So we're definitely going to be trying a lot of the blues today, and I don't know, maybe do some pop of yellow for a little contrast, but you know, we'll see what happens. As per Facebook request, you guys wanted me to start this video barefaced, so we will start there. I have already moisturized my skin, but I will go through all the steps with priming and explain a little bit of why I do what I do, why it works for me. It may not work for you, it may work for you. We'll see. First thing with me, I am combination oily and I am a little porous around here. So I do typically mix primers. I do use 2 at a time typically. Usually one that's a bit more glowy, more radiant, and usually something more pore refining, smoothing. I like that kind of mannequin, almost alabaster kind of look to the skin. So the first thing I'm going to use today is the Prep and Prime Natural Radiance by MAC Cosmetics. This primer has been my absolute favorite. I was never into primers till this one came out and it really does work for me. Typically I just do about 1 to 2 pumps. I have a big forehead, so you know, she needs some help. Now everyone, doesn't matter gender, identity, anything like that, please prime your neck. You are going to put product there. Your neck should not be forgotten. All right, so that's primer number 1. Now, a new product for me, I haven't tested it yet, is the e.l.f. Cosmetics Poreless Face Primer. So I'm gonna try that around my nose and a little bit over here as well, because again, that's where I'm typically a bit more textured. I used to use poreless primers over here and also even on my forehead, but again, we're getting up there in age and some of the poreless primers were definitely showing the lines of my forehead, so I try not to do too much. Okay, this feels great. I'm liking it so far. It has an interesting scent, but most e.l.f. products do, if you're familiar with the brand. One thing about this channel that I'm gonna hope to showcase is makeup from everywhere. I know what it's like to be a makeup snob. I definitely was one. Honestly, I've had $50 foundations, I've had $12 foundations, and the $12 one was better. So you don't always have to break the bank on a product. There are products that, yeah, you get what you pay for. And there are some that you literally paid for a label and a packaging and the product is garbage. It is what it is. This is my opinion as both a makeup lover and an actual working makeup artist for the past 12 years, so take it for what it is. If you don't, it's whatever, it's your money. All right, so my skin is primed. I typically like to do eyes first, regardless of what I'm using. It's just easier in case of fallout, any mistakes, I can just easily clean up my skin and not really worry about it. In the case of the Blockbuster palette, because we don't know how it's gonna perform, I am definitely going to be doing my eye makeup first. So forgive me if you see me looking a bit this way. I do have a mirror here that's a bit more close up to my face so I can see what I'm doing. And we're going to start with my eyebrows. So I used to really hardcore do the block brow thing. You know, if you've ever worked for Mac, you've heard of it as the Mac brow. I don't do that too much anymore, thankfully. I've even seen some old photos where I'm just like, girl. I do like to just fill in a little bit on my arches, you know, where hair doesn't really grow, and just blend it in nice and smooth. So that's where we're gonna start. So today for my brows, I'm gonna be using the MAC Eyebrow Styler in the shade Spiked. I know everyone who's an OG Macer misses the old school pencils. Not gonna lie, as much as I did like those, I'm not mad at these. You know, I do prefer the double-endedness. I like having the comb on the end, makes it easy, and I do like the way the shades got a bit more muted. Some of them were way too saturated in my opinion, and you went from minimal brow to chola real quick. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you get what I'm trying to say. I'm just gonna start filling in my brow. I typically do start at the very end here. If you know me personally, you know I have a bit of a The Rock moment where I can easily raise my eyebrow. So this eyebrow is naturally more raised and more pronounced than my right. So again, just lightly kind of filling in little gaps here. We are going to comb it through at the end. I do like an even line on the bottom. Naturally, I definitely do have a very low, thick man brow. I just try to kind of even all that out from waxing, threading, tweezing, just to have a nice defined shape without being too drawn on, and we're not really going for Sharpie brow or full-on drag. Not that there's anything wrong with that either. Love me a dragon. I did put a little bit of a waxy gel in my brows just to get the hairs kind of going in one direction. Again, thick man brow. The texture of my hair is crazy, so I try to tame them as best as I can. So here, I typically have to do a little bit more work. My eyebrow used to be pierced, and after years of waxings and threadings, it just doesn't grow the same. You know, as they say, your eyebrows are sisters. They're not twins, but sometimes mine try to look like cousins. Not here for it. And to top it all off, thankfully I'm short, or I would only have one eye at this point. I did bust my forehead open right here at the base of my eyebrow when I was 8 years old. So there's no hair growth right there, so I typically try to fill that in a little bit just to give you some dimension. This brow doesn't require too much of that line that I did here, because for some reason this just goes straight where this one doesn't. So I just gotta try to even them out. My brows are pretty much done and filled in. I will do a little bit of concealer just under to clean up the shape and snatch them, as they say. Back in the day, I did do top and bottom, of course, but again, we're going for a more defined brow without it being so like painted on and sculpted. So I really just do the bottom, unless I'm doing a colorful brow or even a bleached brow. Then I'll do top and bottom for a more dramatic effect. All right, so I just grabbed some concealer to carve out my brow. And if you are curious, I am using the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Concealer. I am obsessed with this. It is such a good product. The wand is obnoxious, but honestly, it's really great. It stays on really well. The color is phenomenal. And I'm just gonna take a nice synthetic brush with a nice flat edge, and we're just gonna carve out the brow, just like I said. Again, I typically start along the arch, because, you know, my whole raising eyebrow gesture, I do like this to be as sharp as possible. See that? Also, I don't really do too much of a dramatic highlight under the brow. It's not really my thing. I try to keep it to at least 1 to 2 shades lighter than my natural skin tone, nothing more. You know, there are proper-ish techniques with makeup, but at the end of the day, it is artistry. It's just simply a different medium, and there's no rules. Art is subjective. Thank you, Boulay Brothers. They say drag is subjective, but you get the point. All right, so I always just pull it down to kind of give it a subtle blend here. See that? So now pretty much this brow is completely carved out. And off camera, I'm just gonna carve out that one, okay? So now that both brows are filled in and we have the concealer nice and blended, a little bit blended out, I'm gonna go in and prime my eyelids. Again, combination oily skin. My eyelids are even more oily. I typically do use 2 primers but for that as well, but I am out of my MAC Cosmetics 24-hour extended eye base. It's life, you need it, go get it, seriously. We are gonna go in with the P. Louise base. I do have a really light shade here because again, we're using a colorful palette and I'm a brown man. So I need these blues to pop. I want all these colors to pop no matter what I'm doing. I am also going to really give blue a fighting chance, and we're gonna go in with the Urban Decay 24-hour pencil. This shade of blue is phenomenal, and I really want to use that as a base for the blue eyeshadow to really just elevate it and make it pop off. There's definitely a brush for everything. Do you need a brush for everything? No. I do like using my fingers for certain products, and with the eyeshadow base, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Just makes it faster. Some products do like body heat. It just helps it really melt into the skin and give you a nice smooth texture, and it's just quick and easy to blend out. So do not be afraid to use your hands on yourself more so than on a client, unless they're okay with that. But you know, we are in a pandemic, so maybe not. Normally when I do my makeup, I don't put my contacts in till after my eyes are done because this motion is annoying with lenses in, but you know, I didn't want to be completely naked for you guys. So all right, so the P. Louise base is on. Next thing I'm going to do is grab that Urban Decay pencil and let's see what happens with that. I don't mind that the P. Louise base is still a little bit damp. It does give the pencil even more to grab onto. These liners really are great for bases for smoky eyes and even in the waterline. No matter how oily or sensitive your eyes are, they definitely work for me as someone who wears contacts all day and I'm actually allergic to everything. My liner don't move. This really does help. And if you are someone of a deeper complexion and you want color, you know, instead of going with a white concealer or a white base, you may want to try to find a vibrant eye pencil or even, especially if it's a vegan brand, a vegan liquid lipstick in that same shade. It'll help it pop. All right, so as you can see, I have both the P. Louise base and the Urban Decay eyeliner on as a colorful base to make these blue eyeshadows pop for sure. But first things first, I do like to map out with a transition shade, so obviously something more on the neutral side. So we're gonna open up that Blockbuster palette by Taste Beauty and let's see what's gonna work for us today. I think I'm gonna build it up. Honestly, I don't want to go in because some of these browns are quite dark, well, quite deep I should say, and it might look too harsh, which is not what I'm trying to go for. I'm gonna start with the shade Television right here, kind of like a little bit of a rusty tone, kind of sandy more, and we're just gonna pretty much blend what we just applied there with the pencil. I always start right here at the outer corner and I work my way in. In store when I'm doing makeup or even just talking to clients about how to do blending and smoky eyes, I kind of always say, you know, you want to move your brush back and forth like a windshield wiper. So you see how that kind of softened up that hard edge of the blue. Not too much color payoff, but that's okay. Again, like I said, we're gonna build it. And I do like to extend my eye like this. It kind of gives me a bit of a lift. I don't want to say necessarily a feline effect, but it does kind of give me a feline effect. So I typically do whatever my transition shade is and I just blend it out this way. Now I am noticing there is a little bit of fallout, but it's not too bad, I will say. Now we're just going to do the same thing on the other eye. Again, starting in the outer corner and working my way in. For those curious as to how I'm holding my brush, the farther back your hand is, the more of a softer blend you're going to get with the shades that you're using. If you hold it so close, you'll get a very, like, you're gonna deposit the color and it's just gonna be very opaque. So when you're doing blending, you're really trying to soften, so you want to hold your hand a bit farther away on the brush. Okay, so we have that shade on. Not sure how well it's reading on camera. It does look a little sandy to me, which I'm not mad at it. I do really like it. Now we're gonna choose a darker shade and I'm thinking of doing Sci-Fi. I think that one will really give some definition. So let's see how that works. Switching up a brush for something a bit more tapered. Love Delium tools, get into these brushes. All right, so I'm really gonna focus more as far as depositing color here. And then we're not trying to go as big as we did with the television shade, the lighter shade. This is really gonna hug that blue. And I don't go all the way. I'm not trying to have like a cut crease kind of moment. I just kind of like going from the outer corner to maybe around my pupil. And at this point, it is okay if you have a little bit of a harsh line. You kind of want to see that, and then we can just soften it with the other brush that has a little bit of the television shade on it at the end. Right now, this is just acting like a guide. And again, as I said, you know, I have that kind of swooping cat kind of moment. That made no sense. We're just gonna blend that out this way, just a little bit. We don't want the color to disappear. See there, you can actually see it. It does read a bit rusty on me, and I'm kind of here for that. If you know me, you know I own too many pairs of contact lenses. This is pair number who knows what out of 55. And these are by TTDI, or the Third Eye if you're familiar, and these are in the shade Pearl Gray. Another reason why I like neutrals and rusty tones, I do typically wear a lot of grayer lenses, more greener lenses, just to really pop off my complexion and my eye makeup. All right, so I really like how this is shaping up, I should say. Now, taking that brush, I'm not gonna pick up any more extra product. We don't want to add, we kind of just want to blend it all together. I'm just gonna soften that edge. And we don't have to worry too much about right here. Obviously, I haven't done complexion yet, so once I do my foundation concealer, that'll clean everything up. Yeah, I think you can pretty much see it pretty well. Hopefully you can. And off camera, I will apply the Sci-Fi shade to the other eye. All right, so if you're still here with me, we have both the television and Sci-Fi shades in my crease, just softly defined. Now we're gonna go in with the blue shades. I think I'm going to mix both of them, honestly, because I think they're both great. I really want to give them each a moment. First, we're gonna start with Fantasy, and I'm just going to pack that onto my eyelid. Kind of impressed right now. There's definitely some fallout. So again, glad we did eyes first. Totally expected it. Blue eyeshadows definitely tend to have a lot of fallout. So FYI, if you're doing a blue eye, you might want to do your eyes first. So I'm just gonna go all over my eyelid with this shade. I don't want to bring it all the way into my inner corner because I actually want to use some of the yellow shadow right there in that inner corner so that it pops as well for contrast. So far, so good. This blue is really popping. As you can see, the blue eyeliner that I use is helping it along as well. One thing I look for when it comes to colored eyeshadows, especially blues, they tend to be very chalky and at times they do separate. I do see a little bit of separation right around here, but it could also be it mixing with the browner shades there, so I'm not entirely upset about that. The test will be how it blends out for sure. I'm going to use the same brush that had the Sci-Fi on it just to kind of smoke this edge out. And hopefully that'll tie it in without taking away all that pigment, because that is something that definitely happens with colored eyeshadows, blues especially. Sometimes the minute you start blending, it's gone like chalk dust. I do see that it definitely kind of faded away there. So far, what's directly on my eyelid close to my lash line is staying, and that's pretty much where the bulk of that blue eye pencil was. Again, not entirely upset. I have a nice little smoked out fade there, so we'll see how it works with the next eye. Okay, so far, honestly, I am not really mad at these blues. Well, the blue, rather. I only use Fantasy so far. It's standing out. It's definitely popping off my skin. Again, the blue pencil definitely did play a role there. I'm olive toned. Blues are green on me in 5 seconds. So I have to use something creamy in the same shade for it to pop. And so far it's doing just that. While I was packing on Fantasy on my right eye, I decided that I'm gonna kind of halo it out with the deeper blue shade, which is called Adventure. So I'm just gonna pick up, same brush, just did a little color switch. Grab some of that. I'm not gonna tap the palette like every other YouTuber does. And I'm just gonna kind of press that right in the outer and inner corners. And I kind of want it to be saturated, so I'm gonna really just pack that on. So if you do have this palette at home or any palette with blue eyeshadows, don't be afraid to dip in more than once when you really want some extra color payoff. See, I like that. You see how you're getting a little bit of that deepness there in comparison to the, what was that shade called again? Fantasy. I'm also gonna do that on my inner corner. Again, as I said, we're kind of gonna do a little bit of a halo moment. Now, especially when it comes to applying colored eyeshadows, I mean makeup in general, but for real with color, honestly, it's very trust the process. This does not look cute, and that's how it's going to be. You know, you just have to get used to that. You're gonna freak out as you're applying it and think it's a mess. Trust me, when you apply and you blend, and it's a lot of back and forth with smoky eyes. So just trust what you're doing. Also, I don't know how people do these videos because I am getting cotton-mouthy just from talking. Mind you, I've taught classes for MAC Cosmetics before, so this is nothing exactly new. Just the medium of being on camera. All right, so I have that applied. I do kind of want to add a bit more Fantasy right in the center just to really pop it off there. And just gonna grab some Fantasy and just right in the center, like pretty much where my iris is, I kind of want that to be the light part. Like if that shade was actually a shimmer, that would be sick. I actually do love MACs more than anything, so I'm not mad at it. So I'm just gonna lightly blend those edges in. And again, with that more dense brush that had the color Sci-Fi on it, I'm just gonna kind of soften that edge and smoke it out. See that? See how it just kind of buffed it up, but you still see the blue? I don't want to take away from the Sci-Fi and from the television shade, so it's really just controlling that blue. We're not doing garage doors. We're not going Mimi from Drew Carey with the blue here. Yes, I'm old. I just said Mimi from Drew Carey. Pardon the siren. We are in the Bronx, and I live near 3 hospitals. That's where I was going with that. I'm not saying I'm in a crime-ridden neighborhood. Okay, so that is pretty much blown out, and I am already seeing there is some separating there. It happens. You know, there's really not much we can do about it. I can try to go back in and pack on some of that Adventure shade, which is a deeper blue, and hopefully that works. If not, well, it's the product. Not much we can do. Off camera, I'm going to finish off the other eye. Okay, so we're back. I did pack on a little bit of the deeper blue shade in Adventure on each side. It's looking how it's looking. It is moving a little bit. The blue's a little bit patchy. We're still gonna run with it. I do like how it looks, and I think I kind of want to define it a little bit more. Now, there is a black eyeshadow in here. How black it's actually gonna be, we'll find out. It's called Drama, right there. I know it's reading a little bit gray on camera, but we'll see how it comes out on the eye. I'm gonna use very little just on the outer corner. All right, well, let's see. If it doesn't work, I can always mix a bit more of the blues. I just want to have a bit more definition here on the outer corner. Definitely not a black eyeshadow, but it is what it is. We can fix it. Using the same brush, I'm going to grab some more of that deeper blue shade, which is Adventure, and we're just going to pack that right over it. So off camera, I did try to soften the edge a little bit. I'm not loving it. That black really kind of separated the blue there, so I will have to even it out on the other eye, of course, but in the meantime, I'm just gonna try to fix this a little bit with more of the Adventure shade. I'm just gonna put a little bit more of the Adventure shade here just to bring back that blue. Thing about smoky eyes, a lot of back and forth. These things will happen. It's not just about whether the product works or not. It's just having that seamless blend. And again, our brush with Sci-Fi on it, just a little bit, trying to keep very, very tight here. Keep it smoky, but again, we're not trying to garage door it. If you don't know what garage door means, it means solid color from lid to brow. We're not doing that. Off camera, again, I'm going to even out this eye with that unfortunate black shade, appropriately named Drama. Not to beat a blue dead horse, but this is what we're working with so far. I'm gonna go back in with that Urban Decay liner. I forgot to mention the shade. It is called Chaos, and we just get a good product shot here. I'm going to line my waterline, and then we're going to smoke out with Adventure and Fantasy under my eye here. Again, these are great for the waterline. The color pops off, and they really, really have good staying power. You know, I know brands like to claim 24 hours and all that. I mean, if you're wearing makeup for 24 hours, your skin must hate you, honestly. As someone who's worn makeup for over 15 hours a day, I have never had to touch up my waterline, and that says a lot. Again, contact lenses, allergies, all of that. So again, just gonna line our waterline here. Not trying to be too neat with it, even though I do prefer a clean line, and that's simply because, again, we're gonna smudge it with some of that eyeshadow. It is a smoky eye after all. Okay, see, now my gray contacts are really, really popping. All right, so now that the waterline is lined, I'm gonna go back in. I'm actually gonna do just Fantasy because I do want it to be a deeper tone. I don't want to lighten the Chaos liner. So I have some Fantasy, and I'm just gonna start smudging that out, bringing it into this crease part over here. I should have done this before lining my other eye, before the liner dried. When the liner's still kind of wet, it's easier to smudge. And again, you just want it slightly smudged. I'm not trying to have a double smoky here, because especially if you're someone who's notorious for bags under the eyes, you really don't want to accentuate that so much. I will go in on the other eye. And this is also good too, because I do have some fallout here. So this is kind of just bringing that fallout in and marrying it all together, so I don't have to clean up so much before I do my complexion. Oh, hello blue. I like that. Okay, so that's definitely working for me. How do you guys feel about it? Obviously, I won't know till I read the comments, but you know. I am gonna go and actually grab a little bit of that black eyeshadow called Drama, and just for the outer corner, just to tie it into that little darkness we made here. Not too much, and as an old school goth, it's really hard to stay away from black eyeliner and black eyeshadow, but we are doing a colorful look, well, at least a more monochromatic look with the blue, so we're not trying to take that black all the way across. I want to keep the waterline blue, I want to keep the under eye blue, just blue, and it's not even Monday. That is pretty much done off camera. I'm gonna drink some water because again, I am getting cotton mouthy. And we're gonna clean up a little bit underneath the eye before I start complexion. We're back, I did clean up a little bit. There actually wasn't as much fallout as I thought, which I'm a little bit impressed by that. I do have another mirror off to the side where I can get really up close and personal with my face and didn't see too much. As far as the eyes themselves, not entirely impressed with the product, but not mad at it either. It's really not bad. I would definitely say try it out. Again, as per request, you guys wanted to see me start barefaced and do my entire mug. So we're gonna do just that. And one of the first things I do after priming and doing my eyes, I go in with the MAC Cosmetics Pro Conceal and Correct palette. And I do a little, very minor color correcting and also, you know, spot coverage. I am a scar queen, unfortunately, when it comes to acne. So I do try to hide that with a thicker concealer before I go in with my foundation. With that, I'm just gonna grab a little shade here. And also I do like a more smoother upper lip, so I try to color correct the man on the mustache. You can totally do this with your fingers or with a beauty sponge. I've done it with both, but I often do like using a brush. It's just a little bit quicker and it's a dense brush, so it really just kind of packs it on. There's not too much I have to worry about on the lower half of my face. The foundation will typically take care of most of that. Just some minor discoloration, some redness. My forehead is like problem area for sure. That's where the bulk of my acne scars are. So I do just try to pack that on there. I know you're probably asking, well, what about a full coverage foundation? I do use full coverage foundation. Regardless of that, I do like a little extra help. Nothing wrong with that. A little extra coverage doesn't hurt nobody. And I do have a little scarring because of course I decided to cut myself shaving today. I can't. And just a little bit here. Again, just from scarring from shaving and just to even out all that tone and hide some of those spots. As you can see, I'm not going heavy with it. We see a lot of people color correct and there's just orange everywhere. Please don't do that. It will bleed through your foundation as the day goes on and you will go from human to Oompa Loompa in 2.5 seconds. Don't. Now that my spots are covered and I am color corrected, thankfully, I'm gonna start with my foundation. I did pick this up recently. It's brand new from Morphe. It's that Filter Focus foundation. I have two shades here. Reason being, the Ulta app actually recommended one shade, which is the tan in 20, I want to say. Let me see what I have here. Yes, Filter Tan in 20. However, no one had it in stock and I wasn't patient enough to order it. I initially picked up Filter Tan 21, which will be my shade in like a month or two. I tan very, very fast. And I managed to get Filter Tan 19. So we're just going to mix them and then apply. Now, I know I said I do prefer a more full coverage foundation. This is more of a natural finish. That's fine. Again, this is just for the video to tie in the whole look. I'm not going anywhere, so I don't need a hardcore beat just for that. I have both tan 21 and 19 mixed on my hand. I know it definitely does look a lot warmer on my hand. We'll see how it looks on my face. Gonna go in with a little beauty sponge. Please wet your beauty sponges and let's see what happens. I'm also testing out this foundation, by the way. Okay, lighting is picking it up. It does look a little warm still. Over here in the mirror, it actually looks really good. So we'll see how it looks once I finish blending everything out. I do like to work from the outside in. I like more coverage here on the frame of the face, and then whatever's left, I just bring it into the center. The foundation is on. As you can see, it does look good. I'm actually not mad at the colors. I definitely did mix them. I did rely more on the 21 for my forehead because my forehead is usually more warm, and I did more of the 19 on my neck because it's usually more lighter and cooler. One thing I do get asked a lot while I'm working as someone who is bald is where do I stop? I typically just try to stay within here, but when it comes to the edges, I use a nice fluffy brush and I just buff. That way there's no harsh lines and everything just kind of blends into my either shaved sides or my little tennis ball head fuzz that we got going on there. And just because I see this so often with women and even some men and everything and everyone in between when it comes to makeup, you don't want a harsh line here. You really want to blend that out. I always see like this hardcore like jaw situation. Please buff that out. So either use your fingers, your beauty sponge, or like I'm doing, a nice fluffy brush, and that's it. That way there's not going to be any, my foundation stops right here. You know, it's just gonna be a nice little blend and your complexion is seamless. That's what you want to achieve, okay? Next up, we're gonna do concealer. All right, so as I used before, we're gonna go back in with the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Concealer. I typically use shade 17. It's the most natural one for me while still giving me some brightening. Again, we're not doing a more dramatic insta-beat. Well, it kind of is an insta-beat technique-wise, but not the overall look. I don't really like that bright, obnoxious highlight. And also, you're not gonna see me go geometry on you and start drawing all these ridiculous shapes, especially under the eye. Please settle down with the concealer underneath your eye. Unless you're on stage, and even that's debatable, you don't need all that product under here, okay? Be a little modest with it. A little goes a very long way, and hello, look at this doe foot. So, usually I do one little dot here. You know, I am thankful to not really have dark circles like that. At most, I just look a little sleepy. And I just do one there because I like to just clean and wing everything up. I do highlight my Cupid's bow a little bit. Oh, that's probably too much, but it is what it is. Bit on the nose. I know I just kind of double dipped, but I really rarely have to. Because again, a little goes a long way with this product. And yes, I just put my own initial on my forehead. Leave me alone. And now we're just gonna blend. Okay, so the highlights, the concealer, that's been done. If you find, and yes, this will happen, this does sometimes happen, that you took off, or took away rather, some of your under eye makeup, not all is lost. We can easily just go right back in. But since complexion is on, we want to lay down some setting powder first, just to catch any residual fallout that we do not need. And either way, I do like putting setting spray to set everything down. Now, for setting powder, we're going to go in with the Jeffree Star Cosmetics setting powder in the shade Beige. Again, I don't like an extreme brightness under my eye, but this works just fine. Again, you can use a brush. You definitely can, but I'm going to use the damp beauty blender just to really help it blend into the skin. I don't really bake. I really don't, but I do like setting just for like a minute. Okay, so the powder is laid down. Just powder all over the camera. I didn't go in too hard. I know it looks like it, but again, I'm not going anywhere, so there's no point to really bake and really put so much powder on the face to ensure that everything stays put. What I'm gonna do with that small brush, grab some more of Adventure, which is that deep blue shade, and just bring back some of that smoky moment. Don't want to move the product too much. Again, like I said, we just want to bring back some of that smoky moment that we took away when applying concealer. Okay, cute. See, now that's brought right back. I'm going to take another small smudge brush and I'm going to go in with, I want to really try this yellow. So we're going to go in with New Releases. Now, yellows are another tricky shade. They're often extremely chalky and have no payoff. So let's see what happens. Nothing really happened. I mean, there was a little bit of blue here, so sorry about it. But, I mean, on camera, it looks like it's popping off a little bit. In my mirror, I'm really not seeing much of anything. I've definitely used better yellow eyeshadows before, but also, there was no base for this to really pop off. I didn't put anything white down or yellow down first, and maybe I should have. So next time we'll try that and see what happens. But just kind of blending this in to give the inner corner a little highlighted moment. And also just to say I used the majority of the palette, obviously, because we didn't get it just to put a blue smoky eye on. Packing it on, it is popping a bit more, so I'm not terribly mad at it. There is a ton of kickback in the palette, that's for sure. It's definitely a very dusty shade. Okay, and at the risk of messing up any of that smoky moment there, I'm gonna stop with the yellow and just really quick with this brush that has some of the adventure shade on it, I'm just gonna do a quick little blend right there and we're good to go. Now again, like I said, I really do not bake, so that was just to fix the under eye and all that, and now we're gonna dust everything off. And we're back. Everything has been set. All the powder's been dusted off. There was literally no fallout. And as far as the camera goes, this yellow is definitely popping. So you know what? I'm actually a bit happier now. We're gonna contour now. I am using the Kimchi Beauty. This is the Taylor Contour in the shade Mocha. I love it. I actually wish the Mocha part was the entire thing, to be completely honest, because I'm gonna eat this in like a week. But I've been loving the product. I personally contour with cooler shades. I don't like to look too warm. My forehead gets warm enough as it is naturally, so I try to avoid that. Let's get to contouring this 5-head into a 4-head. Now I do contour somewhat in my cheekbones. I mean, my beard does the job for me, but I do like to really just enhance it and give a more sculpted look. So I'm just gonna go in a little bit more. Sorry if the lighting isn't fully picking that up. Hopefully we'll see it more on this side. And yes, my brow naturally does raise while I'm doing my makeup. I'm not trying to Alyssa Edwards here. Sorry about it. Okay, maybe a little. All right, and with what's just left on the brush, I do a little bit on the jawline, along the hairline, I should say, of my beard. Okay, now we gotta contour the nose. I'm just gonna go in with a smaller brush here. I don't do too dramatic of a nose contour. I don't necessarily need it. Again, I just like that sculpted kind of a look. And I typically start right here and just come straight down the sides. I know it looks a little harsh right now, and I do kind of taper off there. The lines are drawn, and then I just softly blend downward. Not too much there because I don't want to take away that yellow. And that's it. So we're nice and sculpted, ready to go. Now, ooh, look, I'm on rhyme. We're gonna glow. Now, normally when I do use a shimmer highlight on my face, I do like to set the face first. That way the face is kind of damp when I apply, so the highlight really is like, you're gonna see me coming a mile away. No need for that again, not going anywhere, so we're just really gonna do this for placement. I'm gonna use the famous Morphe M510 brush. And for highlighting today, we're using the Maybelline Master Chrome. So let's see how bling she is. Not mad at that at all. I don't do the whole like exclamation point thing on the nose. My nose is pretty oily, but I do a little bit on the tip. I know it's kind of frowned upon, but whatever. Just lightly. And with what's left on the brush, I will softly just go into my brow bone there. I'm not too huge on a shiny brow highlight unless I'm doing a very elaborate effect, and more so if my brows are blonde. I kind of like that alien-esque kind of moment. What I am notorious for is this cheekbone. I do typically like to buff it first and then pack it on so you really get that pop. We have some highlight, little Egyptian moment going on there. And the last thing I typically do is mascara, or pretty much anything that's just jet black. We're gonna go in with that next. And what I am going to use is the Milk Kush mascara. I got this through, where did I get this from? BoxyCharm. Yes, yes, yes. This came in my BoxyCharm a couple months ago, and I am really excited to try this out. So this is another product test, and that's pretty much it. I am not someone who does false lashes. Nothing against those that do, you know, as far as the men in makeup on YouTube. That's for you. You like it, I love it. But for me, no, we're not about that. My lashes are naturally long, and I just like a little bit of mascara. And between eye makeup and contact lenses, my eyes have enough on them. I do not need some eyelash weaves going on here. We're not about that. Okay, like, look at the difference. I am definitely kind of here for this mascara. Very nice. Sorry if I was giving you guys too much forehead while I was in the mirror, but you know, shit happens. And I meant to not say that. It's my first YouTube video and I'm about to get in trouble. Oops. One of the hardest things is to keep your eye from blinking too much while doing mascara. That all comes with time and practice. All right, so one thing I do like to do is just kind of help lift them up a little bit, especially on my left eye. My left eye is a little bit smaller than my right, so it does sometimes look like it's more shut. So I kind of like to lift as much as possible. I don't really do bottom lash mascara just because I really don't see a need for that. I'm not trying to look too doll-like. And there actually were a couple things that I forgot to do, but you know, they're last minute details anyway, so we're gonna get to that in a second. Back to those final touches that I did forget. Gotta set the brows. I'm gonna use this Milk Kush Clear Brow Gel. This stuff is amazing. I know I did have a bit of a waxy gel in my brows earlier, but I like extra setting. Like, I don't like these hairs to move at all, because I will have one brow hair pointing completely down to my eye, and that's very annoying. The brows are done, and last two steps. See, so used to wearing masks, we forgot the mouth. I'm just gonna go in with a gloss today. Forgive me, kids. I do not know who Madison Beer is, but I just like this color. I love me a very foundation on the lip kind of nude, especially because my lips are naturally very pink. I'm often asked what lipstick I'm wearing. Annoying. So I picked this up again. I like the color. Don't know who she is. Sorry. And we'll see how it looks. I like it. It's pretty soft. Definitely has the nude that I like. It's not as muted as I probably wanted it. It's a little bit pinky, but I actually do like it. I don't oversaturate my lips with gloss. They just get gross after a while, especially when you're in this field and you're talking so much. It's not really cute. And just because you guys are here, I'll do this as a treat because it is one of my staples. I'm going to go in with the MAC Studio Fix 24-Hour Concealer, which is one of my absolute favorites, especially for doing something graphic. And I will do my little tribal marking just for you guys watching. It's kind of a thing. It became a trademark for me, so I figured, why not do it? So here we are. This is the MAC Cosmetics, and the number's gone. Sorry. But it looks like that. Is a dual fiber brush with a nice slant. It's perfect. It really makes this so easy to do. So I typically just start here and work my way all the way down. And there you have it, my classic T tribal marking here. And the absolute final step this time, sorry about that, setting spray. Again, I am combination oily. I need my face to stay put all day. I've used every setting spray you can think of. Right now, the one I've been enjoying is the Stage Proof Matte Setting Spray by Kimchi Beauty. I love me some kimchi, she's so cute. The condiment, not so much. Anyway, so now we're gonna set the mug. So the mug is done, the mug is set. Mug means face, for those who don't know that. And well, let's give my final thoughts on this Taste Beauty Blockbuster Video eyeshadow palette. Overall, I do like it. I think it's cute. I don't love it, for sure. I will keep the makeup on for a little while just to see how the blues really move, see if they turn. Again, blues turn green on me very quickly, but we'll see what that eyeliner from Urban Decay does to help that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It wasn't too difficult to work with. I've definitely worked with worse palettes, that's for sure. Do I think you guys should go get it? Even if just for the nostalgia? Totally. Honestly, it's cute. There's many ways you can make this product work. Try different bases, blue eyeliners, blue lipsticks, yellow lipstick, or any kind of cream base. Even something white will really make this color pop. Use a different black eyeshadow. Just saying. But yeah, overall, I do like it. It was fun to use. And I'm thinking going forward, we're gonna do some product reviews using what products I get through BoxyCharm. How you guys feel about that? Leave a comment below if that's what you wanna see and we'll make it happen. And if you do know me, you know the kind of looks that I typically do, hence my tribal marking there for you guys. I do everything from natural to editorial to cosplay. So anything you wanna see, you know, leave a comment and, you know, we'll see what we can do if we can make it happen for you. Other than that, thank you for watching my first video. Please be kind. This was a lot. I am definitely not the best public speaker despite having an A in speech. Go figure. I do get camera shy. I'm just here to pose. I'm a look queen. Sorry about it. So yeah, that's it. That's all. Whatever it is you're doing, hopefully you are safe and be good or be good at it. Bye guys.